Hello everyone, welcome to PHTV4. I'm Sue Jankowski, and we are here today with the Travel Show we do every month. Hopefully you've seen it before, because I know you're getting some great ideas about where you'd like to go, what you'd like to see, and today will be no exception. You're going to find out about somewhere you're just going to want to travel to. And our friend Kathy Janes comes in every month with a new guest for us. Kathy, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure. And we have Cheryl Gatto from Central Holidays. She is the Regional Sales Director. Cheryl, thanks for coming in again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Happy to be here.
And you've been here before. Cheryl's been
Yes,
our
I
guest
have.
before. And she's got some great ideas for you this time, which I'm really excited about, because this is somewhere I always think about going to, and I'm going to get there one day. Maybe this is going to be the day I figure it all out. Cheryl, tell us a little bit about your company and a little bit about the subject we're going to talk about today.
Okay. Central Holidays has been around, Sue, for 52 years.
Oh, wow.
So we've been around for a very long time, quite established. Started out 52 years ago in the motor coach market and with Europe and primarily Italy. And so over the years, the product has evolved and developed to expand outside of Italy to all of the Mediterranean countries in Europe, as well as parts in the Middle East and in Latin America and South Africa. So we offer land packages, we offer cruises, we offer river cruises in certain parts of the world, and we offer safaris. So we really
wow.
are quite diverse.
Yes, that's for sure.
And our big thing now too is customizing vacations.
Yeah.
So, but we realize that at the core of everything is our motor coach experience in Italy, because that's where we started 52 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's where your experiences are, and you have a whole lot going on there.
Exactly.
Let's talk about motor coach tours. You know, some people do know about motor coach tours, and I think they differ from, company to company. And Cheryl, I'd be real interested to find out, how does Central Holidays differ from maybe somewhere else, and where do you go?
Well, there you go. So, Central Holidays is in a travel arena of many other brands that are out there. And we delineate ourselves and separate ourselves from the competition that's out there by a number of things. First of all, unprecedented customer service, that's number one. Certainly hotel selections that we choose along the way are always going to be city center, okay?
That is so important for the people that are on the tour. They can get off and walk around and see things in the city center, not having to get to the city center. They're there.
That's right.
That really is important.
Right,
Yeah.
it is. And many companies sit down, again, just to kind of control costs, they'll sit down and select a hotel that might be on a highway, or it might be out, on the outskirts of where they need to be. And yes, Kathy just said bringing them back into town, but it kind of defeats the whole purpose of why you're there in the first place.
Yeah.
So Central Holidays sat down and said, you know what, we're going to sit down and separate ourselves from the competition, do things differently, city center hotels.
That is so important.
Yep. And then another thing that's really, really, really important, when a client sits down and says, I'd like to do a motor coach tour, doesn't matter what destination. One of the things they look at is the date that they're going to travel.
Yes, right.
Right? They might be coordinating with airline tickets. They might be coordinating with miles that they've earned.
Other people going with them. Then they have to go with this precise time.
Exactly right. And so then sometimes you're trying to get a round peg into a square box kind of a thing to make it work. Right? Well, and then you only find out then that maybe the departure date that they picked for the tour isn't going to go, because they don't have enough numbers for the tour for it to operate. So what we do at Central Holidays is we've got 3 programs here today that we can discuss, and these would have guaranteed departures on about 80% of our itineraries.
That's just incredible right there. That guaranteed departure is such a big thing for people.
Meaning that I pick September 9th, and we're going to go September 9th, whether there's 20 people
Or 2 people.
Exactly.
whatever. The number won't matter
That's
we're
right.
going on that day.
Right, that's
Okay.
right. You know, and so that's what happens, Sue, is that a lot of people will sit down and say, "Oh, I want to go September 9th, and I've got my airline tickets already," and all of a sudden, oops, it got canceled.
Yeah.
And
So
then
now
the
they're
last-
stuck with an
yeah.
airline ticket that cannot be changed, and now you're trying to figure something out.
Or
Trying to
it can be
finish.
changed, but you got fees involved and so forth.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, we're guaranteed to get on our plane and get to where we're going.
That's right.
Okay, so where
Right.
are we going?
We're going to Italy.
I guess that helps if we know where.
Right.
Yeah.
So the 3 programs that we've got, because Italy is by far the #1 European destination, has been for over 20 years, will continue to be so. And in 2025, you know, in case the audience doesn't know, there is the Jubilee that's happening in Rome around the Vatican in the summer of 2025. So most of that area is going to be very busy and kind of crazy with volume of people. But again, we have multiple dates for you to pick from. So if you don't want to be around all of that, you don't have to be around all of that. But we have 3 tours here today
Okay.
that I've brought with me. One of them is a 12-day tour called Magnificent Italy and the Amalfi Coast, which the Amalfi Coast is on the Mediterranean side of the boot, and very, very, very popular. Kathy knows that.
Yeah.
Another shorter tour, if you don't have 12 days, is called Italy's Northern Highlights,
Okay.
which features Venice, Florence, and Rome,
Which
which
is
are
the
the 3 biggies that
Places
people
people
like
want to go. Yes.
Exactly right. And then the shortest one that we've got for the escorted tours is called Italy Sunbelt, which features Rome and the Amalfi Coast.
Okay.
So it's either a 12-day, a 9-day, or a 7-day.
Okay, I want to talk about the 7-day because you said it was Rome and the Amalfi Coast. So it's just the 2 places.
Right. So the program highlights are going to be obviously bringing you into the Eternal City, you know, and then, you know, obviously taking clients over to, touring over to the Amalfi Coast from Rome.
You know, the reason I mention that is because sometimes there's so much packed into the 7 days that you never really feel grounded or like you've really been immersed in that city or place,
Right.
and it's too fast.
Right.
So I think that's kind of a nice choice for people who want to
It is a great
kind of like
choice.
have a moment somewhere, not so quick
Right.
here and there and everywhere.
So what they get on this tour is they get 3 nights in Rome and 3 in Sorrento. And Sorrento is one of the towns on the Amalfi Coast.
Oh, that sounds really great. So once you're there, are you on a guided tour? Are you
You are in the
freewheeling?
motor
or-
coach and you've got the services of your tour guide and driver who's going to be navigating the roads and handling all the parking and all of that. And that actually brings us to a good talking point, is that at Central Holidays, we have smaller numbers on our motor coaches. So the most that we have is 28 passengers. So that is a really
That's
big,
great.
Yeah, right.
That is great.
Yeah.
56, 45, that's so difficult
It's
sometimes.
a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
To get everybody back to the bus to take off for the next one. And you're always going to get a few people that are going to hang back and
Stragglers,
be.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why that smaller bus is such a great idea. It really is.
Right.
And like we were saying before the program began today, you know, the foreign countries aren't built like the United States.
No.
With
No,
the
not at
great
all.
big roads and the wide
Yeah.
berth for buses and giant vehicles and stuff.
That's exactly
It's a
right.
little bit
It's hard.
squishy.
Yeah.
So trying to get one of those big buses through can be difficult.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, and that's another thing that's a big thing that separates Central Holidays from other companies that are out there. So, you know, Kathy
That's
and I
important.
spoke about that earlier,
Yeah.
and she's very familiar with those differences,
Yeah.
which can really make or break the entire experience.
Absolutely.
What about the hotels that are included in your traveling?
Okay.
Like, what are they? What kind of places are they?
Well, we always pick hotels, and again, it's based on seasonality. So, you know, it's always very popular. We start our tours in May for Italy, okay? And you don't want to be going there in January, February, and March because the weather is just too dicey.
Oh, okay.
You know, it can be very rainy, very cold, very wet.
Very icky.
windy. Yeah, very windy. It's just not a great time to be there. So you want to go, in the warmer months.
Okay, so May through October?
Through October. That's
That's about
exactly
the
right.
good.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And actually, the fall is the most opportune time, I think, to go to Italy.
Yeah.
But because then you don't have a lot of the college students there and the student groups that are, can be coming into Italy from other parts of the world.
Right.
You
And
know.
family vacations and stuff kind of
Right.
peter off
Right.
about September.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as hotels go, we use 4-star hotels.
Okay.
Okay, so we're not using budget properties. They're always going to be city center. And we talked about that earlier as well. And what does that mean for you, the viewer right now, is that means that, if you're on a tour and you're in a city center hotel, the motor coach will be taking you directly to the hotel for you to check in. And then that's going to be your base, right? And from there, either you're touring on the motor coach, or guess what? You can walk around and
That's-
kind of do your own thing,
And get a feel of
when
the
you've got
city,
on your
yes.
free time.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah, see the city, feel the people, get to know what's there. Otherwise, you can't when you're outside of the city.
Well, you're out of the bus, then you get in the bus, you may not,
Have
be
time.
allocated enough time.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
actually, it just depends on what kind of a traveler you are. Maybe that is enough time for you and you want to get in and out. Maybe you want to spend more time. So if you do want to really learn the culture, country, it would seem like these
Right.
being stationed for a while in the city that you mentioned
Right.
would be great. Now I want to talk about the next one, the one where it's 9 days. Is it basically the kind of same thing where you're going to certain cities and spending some time there? Is that kind of like Central Holidays thing?
Right. Well, in this one, Northern Highlights, it's also doing Rome, and then it's going up to Florence. Okay, it's stopping in Umbria, going up to Florence, but then it's also going to Venice.
Okay.
So, and people love Venice.
To
I mean,
do
they,
that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So people, it's kind of the three biggies: Florence, Venice, and Rome.
It is. And if you've never been to Italy, maybe that's what you want to do.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, people want to go to Florence because they want to see the Statue of David.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to see the Statue of David?
So true.
I mean, if once you've seen him, you don't forget. I mean, he's really
there.
He's really. I don't know if you've seen him ever, but he's
Well, just pictures.
Pictures don't do him justice.
No.
Okay.
So yeah.
He's there.
Yeah.
Well, and you also got the Leaning Tower
Well, yeah. Yeah, you do.
with Florence. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
outside
that's
of
something-
Florence.
Yeah, outside of Florence. So that's
Exactly,
something else.
and then up
yeah.
in Venice. So, but there's all kinds of, what do I want to say, experiential things that you could be doing, depending on which one of the tours that you pick.
Okay.
There could be cooking classes.
Oh.
There could be wine tasting. There are obviously museums and doing that. There's, for those that are car aficionados, again, depending upon which one of these three, there's a stop at the Ferrari Museum.
Yeah, fun.
You know, if you are on the Amalfi Coast, there's going to be limoncello tastings.
okay.
Taking people to limoncello businesses that are there, into the lemon gardens and orchards where they sit down and create it, harvest it, create it, and then everybody gets a chance to taste limoncello.
And that is hard to resist, and one taste is never quite enough.
No, it isn't. but then you got to be careful.
You really do. Okay, so this is totally different places you're going, and you're spending time in 3 different places in that 9 days, which
Yes.
is
Yes,
to me
exactly
that's
right.
perfect to do that. Okay, and same thing, 4-star hotels, city center,
That's right.
smaller vehicle.
Exactly
you're
right,
in.
on each one of the 3 of these itineraries.
Okay, let's talk about the more lengthy itinerary.
Okay, so the lengthy itinerary, which include Magnificent Italy and the Amalfi Coast, gives you 2 nights in Venice, 3 nights in Florence, 3 nights in Rome, and then 3 nights in Sorrento. So it gives you the Amalfi Coast,
whole country,
right,
basically.
and the north, and Rome, you know,
And
so
south,
and
and- yeah.
south. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're going north. Well, you fly into Rome and then you go north.
Okay, that's and now if someone wanted to select the central holidays, the flight is not included in the price.
Correct.
You do that on your own
Correct.
with Kathy.
With Kathy.
And then the rest of it, as far as food and
Meals are included.
the
yes.
hotels and
Right.
tour guide.
Tour guide, right, tour guide, motor coach driver, that's always a separate person from a tour guide. Okay, then you'll have, depending upon which one you're doing, you could also have what's referred to as a step-on guide. That's somebody local. So you've got your driver, you've got the tour guide that's with you throughout the entire trip, but then you have local guides in different
That you-
areas.
That
Okay.
knows little,
That
little
know the
secret-
little, exactly.
That's
know the
really
little
great.
That's a
secrets.
great idea, that he just comes on and says, okay, we're going to,
Right,
this is
so
something
today
special.
we're going to walk into wherever.
That is great.
Yeah, and
That
then
is
it's
super,
their
yeah.
area of expertise, it's their village, it's their town, it's they really
And they know it.
delve into it more.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do like a wine tasting or like something maybe not exactly on the tour, is that given to you like as choices? I assume that's an extra charge for those extra things. Is that like all kind of done ahead of time?
No, usually what happens when the guest gets to the motor coach and they meet their tour guide at the hotel on day one, right? They sit down and they'll tell them every day when they check into a hotel, right? There's going to be a board in the lobby that says, "Welcome Central Holidays. Today check-in time is this. You know, departure time tomorrow is this. Dinner is going to be this. You know, lunch is going to be this," and it's listed on a board in the lobby of the hotel, so that they know pretty much can anticipate what it's going to look like day by day. So when they're there for the 3 days, right, it's going to tell them.
And they can plan out what they want to
That's
do.
good.
Right.
That is, yeah.
Right.
Then they can make their own decision what they want to do.
right.
Like
with
we don't want to
what the-
do that. We want to walk around by ourselves.
Then
Right.
just go.
just
Right.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And you know what? If people decide, Sue, that some of the things that are included, and maybe they don't want to do those included things, so that's okay, because
Yeah.
some people will do that.
Yeah.
You know, all they need to do is just tell the tour guide, you know, we're going to break from the group. We'll see you tonight for dinner. You know, and then we're going to go and do our
Whatever.
own thing,
Yeah.
shopping,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Well,
it is,
whatever.
visiting relatives, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Is with the meals, are those like local food, local restaurants?
Oh, a little bit of
Yeah.
everything.
Okay, and like are you mostly in the hotels for dinner?
Sometimes
or-
it's in a hotel, and sometimes it's off property.
Okay. Okay.
Again, depends upon, you know, which one.
Okay.
But again, on the day by day, as you kind of look at this, it'll say B and D, and those are things that you can see on our website. B meaning breakfast, D meaning dinner. So they usually have breakfast every day, and then dinner every day. And usually lunch is on their own because they're out touring around wherever they're at.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times they'll just stop at a local bistro, little cafe, get a little prosciutto and ham, maybe a glass of wine, you know,
love
kind
it.
of fun stuff like that.
That just sounds terrible.
Exactly.
It sounds like right up our alley, doesn't it? It sounds
Exactly.
like a great place to go. Yeah, we got the cameraman, Ron, going, yes, we're going to do that.
Yes, it's a great way to see Italy. If you're not familiar with the roads and Italian language, and you don't want to do a self drive, and you maybe don't want to do rail programs, because Italy is very big on rail.
Yes.
But when you do rail in Italy, and this is one of the reasons why escorted touring is popular, they don't have any porterage to get you into a rail station and then to the train,
You have
and
to
then
do that.
on the train, and then off the train. So you are pulling your own luggage. You're getting your own luggage onto a train, big lift
Yeah.
onto the train itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Then when you're on the train, you have to get it into a specific compartment. It cannot just stay on the floor of the train. It has to be in an overhead. So you've got to be able to lift your own suitcase to get it into an overhead
Oh,
compartment.
that sounds
On the
like you
train.
better work out before you go.
It
Well, you
can
figure
be.
50 pounds to try and
Yeah,
get
it can
50
be.
pounds up.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it
It can
is
be.
a lot.
It can
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
So, so that's why motor coaching has been for a long time and will continue to be a popular choice for visiting the country if they've never been before.
Okay. Well, this sounds like all great choices, and we highlighted today trips to Italy, but as Cheryl mentioned, they do go a lot of other places too. And if you want to find out more about those other places, you call
Call me.
Kathy, and she'll let you know. If this company sounds like a great idea for you, smaller tour, centralized city center kind of places that you reside when you're there, I mean, that sounds really terrific to me.
I think it sounds great
Yeah.
because of the fact that the big thing for me is the guaranteed departures. It's a terrible situation if you get towards the end, just before somebody's leaving, and you get the phone call, oh, we're not doing that tour.
Yeah, that would be a bad surprise.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not fun.
No.
And now what do? Do you try and find something else? And can you get for the dates, as you said, with the airline tickets? Or are we going to have to change those, and there's a fee involved in changing? It's just,
It is.
yeah,
It's a
no,
mess.
guaranteed departures is a big red star in your favor,
That's
honey.
good.
Thank
That
you.
really is, yeah.
And I would also think that you need to plan ahead. If it's from May to October, which is the best time to go to Italy, then you would want to get your
Sooner than later.
package booked.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. We're already seeing numbers of bookings coming in for
And
next
especially
year.
with
Yeah.
the Jubilee in Italy next year, too.
Right.
You got to get this done now. You can't wait. I mean, I'm sorry.
And maybe
don't-
you are interested in being in the Jubilee,
And that's fine, too,
And
yeah.
you could, arrange to do that.
And please don't think that the later you wait to book something, the cheaper it's going to be. That's not how that works at all.
It's actually, I find things go up in price.
Yes, they do.
Flights and stuff. The
Yes,
closer you
they
get to when
do.
you go, you're like,
You're
oh,
right.
that's kind of a lot of money.
Thank you, because you're right. Exactly what they keep getting higher and higher and higher, not cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
That's the way it is.
All right, Kathy. Well, before we get to you, Kathy, I want to make sure Cheryl has told us everything she wants to, to express to our viewers.
And in case Italy isn't on your to-do list for next year, Central Holidays, like I mentioned, visits. We have programs in many other Mediterranean countries: France, Greece, Spain, Portugal, Malta.
That's interesting.
That's
There is
Malta is a very interesting country.
and that's not very many people
And
that
not
do
many
Malta.
people.
No.
It's beautiful beaches, wonderful for people who are looking for history, world history, faith-based information, as well as foodies. Because where Malta is located in the Mediterranean, it's a melting pot, literally, no pun intended, of foods and cultures that all came there for the last, I don't even know how many centuries. So Malta's wonderful. Greece is very popular. And then over in the Middle East, we've got Dubai. We've got this Saudi Arabia that we do, as well as Jordan. Hopefully one day Israel will sooner
Be back.
than later open up again. And then over on the other side of the continent, we've got Latin America, including Central and South America, and then kind of going back over again to South Africa.
That's another.
South Africa
yeah.
is also very, very popular
Okay.
for food and wine and photographic
Yeah,
safari.
beautiful.
And
so forth.
safaris, basically, that's
Very much
kind of
so.
what they're known for. is
Right.
the Safaris.
Right.
So you don't have to go to Italy
Right.
as your choice. Maybe you've been there and don't want to do it again, or maybe you do want to go again. I think sometimes you get to a country and you're like, well, I saw this part of it, but now I want to see this part of it over
Exactly.
here. So you've got
That
lots of
happens.
choices here, and Kathy can help you with those choices. Kathy, why don't you tell people how they can get a hold of you?
Sure. We are at 6946 West 111th Street in Worth, on the corner of 111th and Worth Avenue. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. If you need later in the evening, if you need Saturdays, just call us and we'll be there for you. We would love to help you. You can reach us at 708-448-6560. Thank you.
Sounds good, and Kathy can work it all out for you. And if she doesn't know the answer, Cheryl does, and she will give her the answer to any questions that you have. So thanks for coming in today,
Thank you
Cheryl.
for having me.
This
Thanks.
sounds like
Thank
such
you.
a great opportunity for you. I hope you take advantage and find out and go to your dream vacation. We'll see you next month on The Travel Show. Bye for now.